Hello, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show with my esteemed colleagues. Our superstar engineer, Mr. Howie Darkstar, is here with us.
Hello, everybody.
As is Pastor Jay Brennan from Swingin', Temecula, California.
How are you?
And tonight, I would like to talk about, well, it's 2022. It's time to start gearing up for the season. We've got some client meetings coming up. We're going to get to that in just a little bit and talk about some of our experiences that we're having with our first client meetings of the season. Cool?
Yeah.
Good. I have just one quick thing, Brian. Just one
Yes.
very, very quick thing.
Okay, before I do my interlude.
Before you go, just say, what are you drinking?
What are you drinking, Jay?
Water.
Nice. Well, it was water.
Good.
Oh, Jesus did it again.
Jesus got involved, and now it's
got
wine.
involved again.
So before we get into that whole thing, I'll give you guys a little fluff. I went crate digging today, and I went crate digging in my storage unit, which is otherwise known as my mother's basement. It's stuff that I put down there, and when I moved out of the house 15, 20 years ago, whatever, I just said, you know what, later. I got some stuff I'll probably do a video on later. I got some neat stuff that I didn't know I had. Really cool stuff. But there was one in particular thing that I was looking for, and it wasn't a record. And it was this CD right here. And I got to put my glasses on.
Why do I get the feeling I know who did it?
You have no idea who this is.
Oh.
In fact, I have no idea who it is.
I thought it was going to be our friend from a few weeks ago.
No. This is an act called Traveler. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The album's called Traveler. The artist is Corpati and Jennings. I'll show you the cover. You'll never, ever find this ever anywhere. Here's the story. You guys know who Andy is and who Mikey is. My friends Andy and Mikey.
Yeah.
They got another brother named Brian. Okay, Brian was the one who was pretty instrumental on helping me put this house together when I bought it. Construction guy, good guy. So I don't know if it's Corpati or Jennings, but one of these guys is one of his good buddy's stepfathers. And he told me, hey, my friend's stepdad and his buddy put this CD together. I thought I'd just give you a copy,
Nice.
And I said, okay, whatever. And I'm thinking, I'm telling you, for about 10 years, this was the coolest, like, dinner cocktail stuff. Nobody knew what it was. Everyone loved it. And I don't remember exactly what it sounds like. And seeing how this can't be copywritten, I thought it'd be fun to play you a selection and get your feedback on it.
Sure.
Do you think this is good cocktail dinner stuff? So before the show, I paused everybody. I got something to do. I ripped this whole CD into the computer.
Okay.
So let me just pull it up and just picture like some ambient. You want ambient.
Yeah.
You don't want sleepy, but you want
Could you
something
give us
chill.
a comparison? Like 07 ambient, thievery ambient?
Honestly, it's been so many years. I mean, I haven't carried this CD with me since I was carrying CDs. And how long ago was that?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a long time ago. So, it was nearly 20 years ago, probably the last time I played this.
Did you have it in your head? Because there's like 10 CDs that I can't find that are in my head that I'm like, I know I had it, but I don't know where it went.
Honestly,
Or did you stumble upon it today?
No, I had it in my head that I wanted to
yeah.
find it.
I've done
So
that.
I was looking for it, and it wasn't in alphabetical order. And there are thousands of CDs that I had.
Sure.
I got a wall of those things at my mother's house.
Right.
And I found it. And I'm like, Stevie, I can't believe I found this thing. She hasn't heard it yet, but she's asking about it. Well, you think Eris would like it? I said, well, maybe. So is it chill? I said, it's very chill. So anyway, give it a listen. And I'm just curious as to what your opinion is on this. I won't play the whole thing. I just wanted to play a sample of it and see what a couple of music connoisseurs like yourself thought of it. Fair enough?
Sounds good to me.
This track is called Red Dot. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very ethereal right out of the gate.
Yep.
But I used to like just play this whole CD. Like I would just drop the CD and do stuff while they were having cocktail or whatever. And it was great. People loved it. And everybody was like, what is this stuff?
As the Milky Way settles in for the night.
Nice. It's going to kick in here in a second.
Okay, I was like, otherwise this is Nova.
Yeah. Well, these are two guys from like rural Wisconsin who just laid this down like in the, I guess, early to mid 90s just for fun. Oh, it's coming back to me now.
So far, I'm impressed.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
This is a local artist. So, I guess my point is, I'd like to add this back into my repertoire.
I would.
You know? I promise I wouldn't bore you with the whole thing.
You know what it is? It's like Jan Hammer folk.
Exactly.
Very
Yeah.
folky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
the
not
intro was
folky.
long, and I apologize. I didn't remember.
It's not
it,
folky that you hear at like,
Yeah.
you know, out here we have a place called Julian up in the mountains, and they're famous for their apples. And you go in these little tiny stores that sell like all little tchotchkes and
Tchotchkes,
knickknacks.
yeah.
And they'll have a fireplace in the winter and a guy on a 12 string with like a backing track.
Yes.
He'll just do stuff like that. And you're so
John Harmer
relaxing.
folk, I'm still laughing over that because you,
You know,
nailed it. It is
Yeah,
exactly what it is.
you're not gonna fall asleep, but you're kind of like intrigued. You're like, oh, what's the
Right.
next chord? And then all of a sudden they throw like a weird chord change. And you're
Yeah.
like, ooh, this has
That's-
got me interesting.
I really like this. I thought I was going to
I
hate
like
it
it.
because I thought it was like, I don't know. I didn't know what the hell it was.
I
There's
like
no
it.
vocals in it. It's just these guys jam a guitar, and there's, I don't know. There's 13 tracks on here, like
Yeah.
full length tracks.
No, I like it.
It's good. I thank you. I just wanted to test my taste here to see if I was crazy, but
I would do that because I have had clients ask, look, hey, do you have like instrumental stuff for cocktail hour? Because like we haven't seen each other in a while and we don't want a familiar song that we might start singing to when we want to talk to each other. And I'm like,
right.
Fair enough.
yeah, sure. And that was the fairy garden that I used.
Right. No, I remember being very embarrassed because a lot of people would come up to me and say, I love this.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
And I would
Yeah.
tell them, and they said, where do I get it? Like, I don't know. It's like I should have had a stash of them or something.
This
Hey,
is
Brian, tell
this
your
is the downside.
Yeah.
And I've done it probably 7 times, and it's 7 of the 10 CDs I'm looking for,
Mm.
where I went somewhere. I heard a guy do Metallica Fade to Black on a xylophone outside of Disneyland, and I bought his disc for $5, and I would play that song at weddings constantly, and people loved it. I can't
Yeah.
find that. I was in a gift shop in Lynchburg, Tennessee with Michelle and Connor, and there was like a violin, a banjo, a drum, a piano, and a guitar guy on a Saturday morning playing. And it was, you could feel the Smoky Mountain range. I'm like,
right.
I got to have this.
You
And then
captured it,
They
yeah.
go, well, the CD, we do a lot of covers, but no vocal. So, but they're covers of like Irish songs and Scottish songs. I mean, it's gorgeous music. Same thing. I would get people from that region of the country at a wedding, drop it. People would always come up. But again, it's things I can't find. I found one of the CDs the other day, but here's the problem. And this is a local folk guy, way out of print, has like 4 out of 10 songs are bangers. Like I remember playing it in the Sebring. Well, I got rid of the Sebring 13 years ago. So I'm playing this 16 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's somewhere, and I'm making it my life's work now to go through the garage CD collection, and now I have to open everything to see if I ended up in another case. But
it's probably in the
Been there, done that.
Sebring.
well, but that's my fear, Howie. What's good today is
Exactly.
once you get your music, it goes on a drive.
Yeah.
Back then,
Yeah.
you're in Lynchburg, Tennessee, and you travel 3,000 miles home with ACD. That's all you have. Like there is no, let me get another copy from who?
Well, I
Where?
was thinking of you in that I think you picked up a local, was it a ska band or a reggae band's disc a while back? I was thinking
Common
of you.
Sense.
And when I grabbed, because I know something like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of
I
regional.
bought it a month ago just for 2 songs.
Right. I'm like, it's regional. It's really dope. I know these guys have never heard it. Like no one's ever heard it.
No.
But it's good. And I'm thinking to myself, why in the hell didn't I rip this thing in when I was doing all that crap? 18 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, but did you rip everything in? I didn't.
No, I didn't. And I at the time, hard drive space was at a premium because it was,
it was expensive.
Yeah. If you had the first computer I had that like will actually load on the internet and stuff was like a 850 gigabyte computer or something stupid like that.
850 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Michelle was a flight attendant in 97. We bought her a $3,000 compact laptop because all the scheduling was online. She had a 6 gig hard drive in that thing. 6 gigs.
Well, maybe it was it wasn't a terabyte yet, or no,
it was a terabyte for $111, and it's solid state.
No, it was 850 megabytes. That's what it was.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not a computer guy.
Small.
It was basically a little bigger than a CD, that you would put data on.
Yeah, back in the floppy disk days.
It's like, boy, I remember I went into this little wave editor I had, and you could put custom sounds on like whatever it was, Windows 3.1 for startup and shutdown and things like that. And of course, you're going to make fun of me, but I decided when I turned my computer off, I wanted the end of Prince's Alphabet Street. That yeah. Then it shut down. I got in so much trouble from Jackie because she was an IT chick. You wasted all this space on the computer. It was a big deal. I had to delete it. It killed me because I had it just the way I wanted it.
This came with the DMP 555. This is the storage tab that came with that CDJ back in like 2002. And I don't know how I kept it, but it's a running joke between Pulse and I. This is I don't even know if you can really see it. This is a whopping 16 megabytes.
Yeah.
That's the card it came with. 16. What? And then I have the 128 megabyte. Like, what are you going to even put on these?
Right.
16 megabytes. My phone takes bigger photos than 16 megabytes.
Right.
I think. Oh, it's incredible.
Well, I just wanted to do a little, I guess, pre-show before the show, because we've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And
that sounded great, Brian. I'd play that at my gigs.
I would play it. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think it's like in the whole
weddings.
The whole disc is just the bomb.
Yeah, a barn wedding. That's barn wedding.
Oh my gosh! But it worked anywhere. I played it at country clubs. Oh my gosh!
But you would think of it. It's like, remember the band Nickel Creek? Not Nickelback. Nickel Creek. They had a track called "Speak." They're a folk band from out here. It's brother and sister, guitar and violin. And then one of the best mandolin players going. You get a chance, look up the song "Speak," and I'll tell people, "Oh, I love that venue." It always reminds me of the song "Speak," and they'll go, "Oh, I don't know that song." I'm like, "Look it up," and they'll look it up and hear it and go, "Oh my God, you totally get the vibe." And I'm like, "Yes," because it's definitively a track that only works. It sounds great everywhere, but it's so barn, winery, in the woods, in the mountain kind of music, because it's very folky, it's like I said, Nickel Creek, and the song is "Speak," SPEAK.
Look it up, kids.
Yeah.
I'll look it up after the show.
That's what I define as if someone says, yeah, we're doing a kind of winery in the woods wedding kind of thing, and mountainside, boom, "Speak."
So what I want to do for the body of the show here, the main part of the show, is I want to talk about our experiences in getting started on the 2022 season. How do you start a season, folks? What do you do? First thing.
Start emailing.
What's the second thing you do?
You talk to clients or
client meetings. We're having a client meeting week, folks. I've done it. Howie's done it, and Jay's done it.
Yep.
I wanted to ask Howie first of all how his experience has gone with his last client meeting. He was telling us a little bit about it before the broadcast. Go ahead and tell the people how your last client meeting went.
Well, when Jay was telling his,
let Jay tell his story.
I felt so bad for him. I was like,
we're keeping Jay for last.
So anyway, I got canceled for the second time for the client meeting. Sorry, Tommy's working late, can't get to you, this and that. And I said, no worries. I'll make it easy for you. You don't need to answer all the questions that are on here. I said, honestly, all I really need is a few songs, like your specialty songs, the names of your wedding party for introductions. And I pretty much know your crowd, and I can read a room, and we'll do right by you. And she just replied, she goes, yeah, it's been crazy with the other stuff. And I ended with, I said, so yeah, I've got you covered. The only thing that I don't have any expertise in is cakes, dresses, and such like that. Or out of
yeah,
that's out of my league. That's out of my league.
I don't do floral arrangements.
And I put LOL. So she LOL. She goes, oh man, I am lucky to have you. She said, I feel good knowing that you're on the team and that you're, because music is a large part of my event, and I'm going to trust it to you. You do what you feel is right. And I was like, what? When does that ever happen?
Well, you got to keep her there.
Yeah.
You got to keep her.
Wow.
So I had a meeting on Saturday. I talked about it. I may have talked about it on your show, or maybe I talked about it when your show was over. I don't remember, last night. But basically what happened was my guy Art, who had kissing as my friend, he booked a gig for next month. It was kind of a last minute thing. And then come to find out his wife, somebody on her side of the family has this big quinceañera that he must attend because Catholic and Mexican, and they got to do it. So he's like, so I don't get divorced. I got to farm this gig out to you. I'm like, all right, cool. So I take this gig. I talk to this lady on the phone. She texts me. I call her and talk a little bit about, kind of what she wants. Sounds pretty casual, ceremony reception. And she wants to meet. So I meet her and her fiance on Sunday at a Starbucks. And the reason I meet at Starbucks is because a very wise man many years ago told me that that's a great place to have meetings, because you can loiter as long as you want. You can have coffee. It's a neutral location. And of course, Pastor Jay was the guy who gave me that nugget that has just really changed the way I do business. Thank you for that, Jay. I got to give props where props are due. Jay gets props there. I remember. See, nice people, not real worried about things. The person who's marrying them is a nun who is doing her first ceremony. They're not doing a rehearsal. I'm like, well, maybe I should come early just to kind of look out for you. Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. As far as music goes, they have a list of songs they like, but they want me to kindly do the family hour thing that I introduced her the concept to. Do that. And then we'll give you a request list and just play what you think is appropriate off of it. Father, daughter, mother, son. What do you want to do? Nope. Just, I don't want to do the father, daughter or any of that. They want to do Orleans Still the One for their first song. And then I said, well, let's have everybody join you after the first chorus. Great idea. And let's just party from there on out.
Yeah.
It's 3 miles from my house. And they already love me. That's my story. It's going to be fine. Oh, and I booked a huge lighting gig for the end of the month that I've taught. Yeah. Huge lighting gig.
Excellent.
At the art museum. So,
perfect.
Ooh.
I've done lighting there before. I don't know if you remember or not.
Yeah, with the model shoot.
No, I didn't have models down there.
I thought you did a shoot there once.
No, I should do a model shoot down there, but no, it's I'll show you pictures later.
Real quick, you should get the photographer that did the model shoot. See if you can throw them a couple bucks, or if they just want to add to their portfolio and say, hey, I'm doing this big lighting thing. Would you mind coming by for like an hour, 45 minutes and just...
Amy would totally... Amy's a friend of mine. Amy would come up.
I'm saying she gets to use the photos for her portfolio, and then you get professional photos of the lighting for yours.
Do you remember when you were driving to Chicago from Milwaukee, you passed a roller coaster?
Yeah.
That's Grand Avenue, Gurney. She's probably about 10 minutes west of that. So that's how far away she is. No, it's not
cool. Yeah, it's right down the road.
But no, I'll show you pictures of the art. I did the art museum. I did lighting down there and a gig about 10 years ago. The gig's Wavy Davies' gig. But he doesn't do lighting stuff. He called me for the lighting. They have a very generous budget, so I'm going to go down there and light the place up. I've done it before. I've got photographs to show what kind of stuff I can do. It not a go yet. Not a complete green light.
Right.
We're like amber light. Like, okay, ready?
Yeah.
And I'm waiting.
Go.
So that's what I got cooking for. It's going to be a good April. Now, Jay, on the other hand, he had a meeting today.
Well, no, I have the meeting after the
about.
show. I have the meeting after the show. And the two challenges, the main two challenges is it's a 6-hour day that includes
oh my
ceremony. Well, no. I know. But in that 6 hours, they've delivered 5 hours of requests.
Okay.
And the most mainstream song for a group at a wedding.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
But when you say requests, are you talking about a list of suggestions or a playlist of songs we must hear?
It's broken down into must play, play if possible, and custom.
Okay.
And when I get with clients before their weddings, I always say to them, these are some great requests. Because normally it's like a mishmash of music. It's like, oh, I could use this for cocktail and this for dinner and this for this. But, as I said when you hired me, we need to establish if you only want this to be a jukebox, then I will only play off your playlist. If the wedding goes south and west, I can either switch gears or look like a bad DJ and your guests don't have a great time, but you loved the playlist.
So how you
come back and say, no, play to the crowd. The problem is this is such a specific playlist.
Okay.
Like the most mainstream song on it is Cascade 4 a.m. So
before you go any further though, I have to ask you though, of that 6 hours,
yes,
how many are must plays?
2 hours.
Okay. So we got 2 hours of must plays within a 6-hour event.
And they're all EDM.
An hour of it's going to be eaten up by probably the ceremony and getting everybody into the dinner area.
Well, it'll be prelude starts at 4. Ceremony is 4:30 to 5.
Okay.
5 to 5:15 is cocktail. Figure 5:30 to about 7. If it's running perfectly on time, 7:15.
That always happens.
Then it's first dance, cake cutting, father, daughter, mother, son. I mean, the father-daughter dance is "Don't Worry, Child" by Swedish House Mafia.
What is her bridal entrance song? I gotta know.
Oh, I don't have that yet. I don't know.
Like
that's what
Clarity
I'm
or
getting
something.
tonight. Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, should I suggest Spectrum or Clarity or
Night Party Bonfire?
yeah, Internet Friends maybe for the recessional, something that really kind of hits them.
Tiesto and Sneaky Sound System.
I wouldn't mind hearing "I Remember" by Deadmau5. I mean, it would be a good hoot to get to play that at a wedding.
Maybe they do like Operation Blade for their recessional. That would be good.
Or Blood is Pumping. Either
Blood
one
is pumping. Yeah.
Oh,
Either one.
Razor and Guido. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I think either one would work fine. But it's the twist of the day is this, and as I told you guys, they have a best man who's a DJ, and they qualified this by giving me and Princey's the clubs he's played at in LA. So he's played at Sound and Story and Live and whatever clubs they mentioned, which as we know as DJs means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like he could have been at the bar drinking and he's a DJ, so he's claiming or he could have headlined, but either way, it's not really a thing for me.
Right.
But what they're expecting for later in the night, which is there is no later in the night here. This is an outdoor wedding.
Right.
With a hard 10 o'clock ending. They'd like him to do a set. So they've asked me, and I simply replied with, I've never done that before due to insurance, liability, and possible damage to business reputation for venue. But we can talk about it when we talk.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give them kind of a soft landing pillow a little bit, because what's going to come out of my mouth tonight is simply like, so explain what's going on with the best man. Is he bringing gear? And they'll probably say, no, he thought he could just use yours. Okay, if this goes forward, there's a charge and an addendum, and I need him to carry liability insurance. because my gear is only covered by me. I'm the only insured individual on it. And the venue I have 40 weddings at this venue. He gets on the gear, starts playing, swears, messes up my equipment. Not only, is my reputation burned, but the venue has every right to say to her clients going forward, he's going to refund your deposit. I'm blacklisting him. He's out.
I really wish you luck on this one. And we talked about different ways a person could handle something like this last night a little bit. And there are several ways, but I'm sure that,
ultimately, I don't want this to happen.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
And if he's genuinely a DJ, then it should be no issue and it'll be fully understood. I think I told you guys I did a wedding in 2003 for an old company called Spundae, Spundae, out of like San Francisco. And they were a promoter, kind of like an Insomniac is. But they worked very tightly with Digweed and Sasha.
Yeah.
And I think there was a tie-in to Bedrock, his record label. So the groom getting married in March of 2003 had hired like 3 DJs that all flaked. And the venue in San Diego said, we have a wedding DJ that can do this. He goes, yeah, we really want a club guy. Oh, he's really, really good. And, in shows up me. So I get the call. I show up. I meet with him. He's impressed. He's happy. Life is good. And I show up. And at one point, a guy walks over, really tall, blonde-haired gentleman, looks at my 2 CDJs, looks at my DJM 600, and is like, wow, great gear. And I'm like, wow, thank you, John Digweed. And he walked away. Now, the point of that story is, I think we're all in agreement that John Digweed on his taxes puts down DJ. Like, he's a professional DJ. There were a lot of professional DJs there that night. And you know what none of them tried to do? Get on my equipment. When I've done weddings in the past where the cousin of the bride comes up and goes, yo, man, what's up? Dope setup. Yeah, my cousin's the bride. She said it's cool if I jump up. I'm like, jump up where? On the gear. I'm a DJ. I'm like, absolutely not.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not that good of a DJ then.
Yeah.
And a couple times they've come back and been like, yeah, man, I didn't mean anything by it. I'm like, no, it's all good. But think about it. It's my livelihood. Now, do you play clubs? Yeah. What's the feeling if I walk into your club environment, everything's going well, and I'm like, yo, dog, my buddy's in the audience. Let me jump on the decks. What would your response be? I'd be like, F no. Are you kidding me? And then he kind of looks at me and goes, oh. It's going to be one of those things where, I'm in my head trying to predict the phone call, and the worst case scenario is let me talk to him. Because then I can speak language that I'll understand and he won't. And when he goes, well, dude, I use CDJs and Serato. Oh, man, I'm using a controller with record box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can give him an out. I can say, and I'll even say to him, I can pull him aside and say, here's your out. The gear won't work with what you do, but you're going to make a file that I can put on and let them party. And then when the file runs out, I can say, yo, make some noise. That was Jimmy, the not real DJ, best man set, or whatever. Or you could do an after party, or you could do, you know.
Well, you know what I want to know, Jay? What I'm really curious about. Are you going to charge extra for glow sticks and whistles?
Oh,
I don't. This is so far. I mean, this is like I need to get hits of E. This is past glow sticks.
So I'm thinking you could make a couple bucks on the side.
Yeah, no, this is going to be like like NOS and like tanks and candy bracelets and a lot of like putting bracelets over hands, doing the whole EDC thing.
So just for my own personal satisfaction, I need you to play Smarty's Sesame's Treat at this event.
Oh, yeah.
For my own personal satisfaction.
Yeah, I should start with that on the phone. Be like, I'm thinking dark wave for cocktail. What?
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, none of this. It's so amazing to me because, this is the up and down side of how I present my services. I give all my clients this same playlist. And there's like 80,000 songs. But they traditionally will only pick 30 total tracks. And that'll cover special dances, cocktail dinner, some fast dances, as we talked about on Howie's show a little bit about. I used to say to my clients, give me 5 cocktail, 5 dinner, 5 fast, 5 slow, 5 have to, and then the special songs, and I'll build around it. And it always worked really well, because if they said, oh, we want these 5 Frank Sinatra for cocktail, well, guess what? I can fill in the gap.
Right.
And for dinner, we want these 5, instrumentals. I got you. But in nowadays, and I think what's going to have to happen is I'm going to have to physically cut the list back.
Yeah.
Because right now it allows for 30 songs, 15 songs. I'm going to have to cut it to like 15, 15, 10. And then if somebody has a problem, they can contact me directly and say, hey, it says I ran out of space. And I'll say, yeah, the list shuts off at 4 hours. Like, how many hours did you request? Well, it looks like 6. Okay, well, that's not going to work. You know, and even the category of must play, you know, I assume a client sees the words must play as in we're going to hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 7 of these Avicii songs. I'm not a miracle worker. I'm a DJ. Like, I don't know how to float certain things in.
Let me ask you this, Shay, and seriously, how, and I'm not being funny this time. Have you really spoken to her much yet? Or has it just been...
Oh, no, this is an email client.
All email correspondence.
Oh,
Nope.
wow.
They emailed me what kind of music I was into and if I would be comfortable playing more dance style sets. And I started sending them YouTube links and my Twitch and all that.
Right.
And they were like, oh, bingo.
You're a guy.
Here's the catch-22 of what I've done. I've let them know I'm comfortable with their list in their mind because it's on my list. So the fact that they found Porter Robinson's, you know, language and look at the sky, they're like, cool, Jay's down. Now I have to kind of reel them in a little bit. But where this wedding hired me, and quite a few do, a lot of our brethren in the wedding DJ industry, they will say to clients, I'm open format, but I'm really into like top 40 and some old hip hop and this. And the EDM people get kind of anxious. That's my take, because I've gotten these weddings where it's like, we've already talked to 3 other DJs and, you know, they didn't get it, or they're not really down with what we're into. And I know that's the case when they email me and the question is, are you into EDM? Can you play any EDM at the wedding? And I come back with, you know, do you want chill EDM for cocktail? Do you want a little more deep house, tech house for dinner? And do you want blowout bangers for dancing, or is it a combination? And they feel like I understand them.
Sure.
And that's my job. My job is to be very flexible. When I get a Latin client, my job is to say to them, so are we talking cumbias and salsa and some merengue? Or are we talking banda and ranchero and reggaeton? Like, you tell me, oh, good, he understands this.
Sure.
We can work with him.
No, I get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know what? They've been perfectly nice on email. I don't anticipate any difference on the phone tonight, but it's just, and I will just say to them, it's my job to tell you, this is a great playlist if everyone there is high and under 35. Now, if they're not, you know, there might be some variables. I mean, since 2005, 4, whenever Usher Yeah came out, this might be the first time I've never seen Usher Yeah on a list.
You know, you and I run meetings very differently. We always have. You come in and you take it and you walk them through everything. I'm the weirdo who says, you know what? I'm here to listen, and then I'll ask some questions. I'm wondering if this might be one of those weird meetings where you might want to take a tip, just hear them out.
Oh, I'm going to.
And then, you know, oh, tell me all about it. I want to know what your vision is. What's your vision for the night?
Right.
Tell me about it. Tell me more. And then I'm not saying you need to do this or anything else, but if they're just insistent, I'm down with what you want to do, but have you considered a family hour? Kind of thing. I don't know. I'm trying to help, and maybe I'm not.
My online meetings now, my Zoom phone call, because of the way we structure things. Like, I have a Starbucks tomorrow night, and it's the first Starbucks meeting I've had in probably a year and a half that I physically went to meet with a client.
Okay.
So even I'm a little tripped about that. I mean, I'm fine with it, but
I've done it.
Yeah. I mean, but now I find when I do these calls, while they're talking, and I tell them, I'm going to send you an email at the end of this meeting. So while we're saying goodbye, they're getting the email from me that outlines their day. Prelude, ceremony, processional, recessional, all that. When we agree upon this goes to the coordinator. And what I'm selling them on is, I don't want your wedding to be left to chance of, hey, are we doing this? I don't remember. You're going to know a month before the wedding exactly what you've chosen. If you change your mind that day, that's fine. But the reason it's so imperative, and especially with this client because of the list, this is that venue I told you about in the mountains, kind of in a valley, where internet is near impossible.
Right.
So if I arrive and you suddenly add 10 songs, I tell you before we get there, chances are 90% I'm going to say no to you. So if you've told me everything important beforehand, we're good to go. But if you wait till the day of, now you're subject to availability, and you don't want to put anyone in that position for their special day. I would be using a streaming service for backup. I mean, I was looking at Tidal, Beatport. I'm like, this is perfect. They get 28 million songs. If I don't have it, I can tap. I went out there and tried a trial run. I couldn't get online for anything. And I'm like, not at this venue. Other venues, sure.
Well,
but you know, I'm going to let them tell me where they're coming from. I'm going to let them paint the picture for their day, and then let them know, in my professional opinion, for a venue that I've done maybe 50 weddings at, what it is that I can do to help see that vision come through.
Right.
But I don't want to bet body parts or family members, but if I had a nickel for every time somebody has said to me, no, everyone at the wedding is just like us, that's why we gave you that list, and I show up, and there's 7 or 8 wheelchairs with oxygen, there's a bunch of guys talking about AARP, and I'm looking around going, guys, no disrespect, there's a 20-year gap between the wedding party and the youngest person here.
Right.
So I like to be prepared for all possible outcomes.
Of course, and that's part of the game. I mean, sometimes you have to just tell them what they want to hear, and then you're there, and they're like, oh my God, do something. I'm like, no problem. And you start playing the dumb stuff.
And you look at the list they gave me, and you realize this is the excitement of a couple. As you guys know, I'm a huge Cascade Deadmau5 fan. Oh, but on a good day at an event where I pick the music, there aren't 12 Cascade songs I can name, let alone play. One. They've got 13.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's what this list is. This is when there's no price tags in the store, and I go get whatever you want, and you all run up to the counter, and I go, that'll be $18 million, and you go, okay, hold on, we really just need the Kleenex and the 12-pack of White Claw. We'll put the rest of this stuff back. So I have to be a little bit of a bearer of bad news tonight.
Well, just I would go with it, dude. If they've got a vision, and the reason I'm saying that is because I'm thinking back. I did a goth wedding one time. I showed you a video of this thing. Yeah, they came into the room in caskets. And their wedding party were pallbearers. We called them pallbearers. I did a wedding one time at a country club, and the bride and groom wanted some very specific songs, and they were like, it wasn't like heavy anything, but it was stuff that people wouldn't normally dance to.
Right.
Older stuff, older Simon and Garfunkel stuff, and just, you know, like maybe some Sam Cooke and stuff, but it wasn't like the bangers, you know, and they didn't care if anyone else danced because they wanted to dance to those songs. So they had 150 people watching them have a great time while they were bored out of their minds. And eventually people just left, and that's what they wanted. And they wanted nothing other than that.
Oh, I've done those weddings.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I do. But, and I tell everyone, and this is one of the reasons why I like Starbucks so much, I tell people all the time, in context of this situation at Starbucks, at a bar, on the phone call tonight, there are 3 of us in a perfect environment planning the greatest day of your life. Once we get there, the reality kicks in. And the reality that kicks in is, and I will credit you back, Brian, I took this from you. You are hosting a party for your family and friends. You really, if you don't want to play what they want later, why are they there? Like, the ceremony, the cocktail, the dinner might be for you. Actually, the cocktail's not even for them. And I tell couples, you're not going to be there for any of cocktail. You're across the street in the woods taking photos with a llama, this and that.
The cocktail is something to hold them off while they're waiting for you to come back so they can eat.
Exactly. So I'm playing to that crowd, one. Two, dinner is background, not that loud because they're talking.
Right.
They're in a compressed environment. And they're also looking at you, taking photos, talking to you. You're the focus. Once we get outside for dancing, now it's a party you're throwing for your family and friends. Sometimes the way to show
thank
people,
you for showing up and being there.
and sometimes the way to say thank you and show that you love somebody is, even though you're not a big fan of this, you know that they are, so you play this. And that's what a wedding DJ's job title really is, to fill in those moments where, even though the bride and groom may not be the biggest fans of something, it's to their betterment for the night and the betterment of the memory of the event, to have people leave feeling like, what a great time. Because there are weddings that are just like this, where it's, wow, I can't believe these are the tracks that I'm playing.
The mean show.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes.
Well, yeah. And like I said, I've never spoken to them outside of email. They may get on the phone and be demanding, which I can handle. They may get on the phone and be docile, which I can handle. Or they may get on the phone and be like, we really don't know, but we wanted you to know what we like.
Right.
That's perfect. Then now I will take 5 hours and I will cut it back to this, even though I'll have it all, but I'll take the bangers of that and I'll pick and choose where I place them. I'm willing to do that prep work. I'll spend 3 or 4 hours going through and listening to every track, going cocktail, dinner, dancing, cocktail, dinner, dancing. This would be a great intro track.
Yep.
You know, I mean, like a song like the Cascade Dead Mouse Move for me. It's a great song. I love that song, but I can't really tell you where it fits. It's not a banger dance track. It's not a gets the crowd going track. It's sort of chill, but it's like 126 BPM, so it's not really that chillish. Like, you know, and that's going to be the fun with them. The biggest message I want them to get from me is that I support what they're doing, but they have hired me to help them make correct choices, because I am the expert and I only have their best interest at heart.
Yeah, right. And don't forget to ask them if they're into Jan Hammer folk. Because if they are, you know,
I've got a guy.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. Trust me on this one.
And
I know a guy.
And if you do use some of those songs during cocktail hour, be prepared for them to ask you, "You didn't play my song." Or wait. Usually during cocktail hour, you're with the photographer getting your pictures taken, so that's why you didn't hear it.
Oh, I played that earlier.
I played that while you were somewhere else.
I've had it happen.
Oh no, I have too. That's why I tell people, understand one thing. This must play. You tell me right now. If it's a must play and it's 2 hours long, that means you have to hear every song, whether it works or not, right? Well, no. I said, my goal is your goal. I want everyone to dance, have a good time, leave with a great memory. I'm not going to pick a song off your list that I don't know 100% in my heart of hearts will work. Oh, no. You know what? Use our list as a guide. If you can play, that's how we end up. If you can play some of it, that's great, but we're not listening for it. I don't want that expectation. And I tell them, you know what? You need to be present. You need to be in the moment. You can't be present and in the moment with an expectation of, I haven't heard Cascade Dead Mouse Move for me yet.
I did a gig one time where I was in a client meeting and there was a bit of a dilemma. The bride's mother and aunts absolutely loved, I think it was Electric Boogie of all things, you know, just the Marcia Griffiths Boogie Woogie Woogie Electric Slide thing.
Oh, okay.
But the groom hated the track.
Tell him to go to the bathroom.
It's like, oh, no, can't play it. You can't play that track at my wedding. But my mother loves it. I said, listen,
go to the bathroom.
Dave, you smoke? It's like, yeah. I said, how about you take a cigarette break about, I don't know, 3 songs after your first dance?
Yeah.
And you'll never have to hear it.
Wave to me and I'll play it when you're not in the room.
He's like, dude, that's awesome. I'm like, perfect. As soon as you're gone, we're playing it. And it'll be done by the time you come back into the room.
Now you're thinking smart. I like
everybody was happy.
I like that. Yeah.
But you gotta get there. I think, and Jay's gonna be there really fast because he's that kind of guy. But when you're in those client meetings, I think you have to almost win them over and get their trust before you can start throwing stuff at them. That's part of the deal.
So last week, I was on a Zoom call, which our good friend B Dowdle, B Diddy,
B. Diddy.
B.
B.
Diddy.
was on as well.
Oh.
And Promo Only posted a photo of it a couple days ago. And the screen cap photo has Nick Hahn, Tony Balder or Bader or Eldred, that used to be with GC and then Serato. I apologize, I got Tony's last name wrong. Chi-Town Shaney, me, 3 other people, but next to me in a row in the Zoom call is Cascade and Deadmau5. So it just dawned on me, I'm now sending this client a perfect for our phone call tonight. By the way, someone just sent this to me. I'm in good company sitting next to Cascade and Deadmau5 as a way of coming in above like, oh, he totally gets us. So if he tells us, let's back it off a little bit, we can trust him.
I know more than you. So let's just start there.
Yeah.
You want a party? Let's go. I won. Okay, mic drop. Now let's talk about putting this wedding together.
Yep.
They got to qualify you. It's just like, when you're meeting someone for the first time and you're entering into a relationship, you qualify as somebody. Kids do that. They bully kids and push them and see how far they can push them. You do it when the substitute teacher comes. You qualify somebody to see how much crap they can take or to see if they're cool or not. And you poke at
Jersey thing. It's a Jersey thing.
It's a global thing. We all do it. It's well, I may the force be with you, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You're gonna do just fine. And you know what?
I think it's going to turn out well.
It's going.
I do too. I think they're going to be a nice couple. I think they're going to accept all my reasoning as to why their best man should be in the moment and be present and not feel obligated to DJ. Let him party with you. Let him do a party for you somewhere else. I understand it means a lot to you, but if it meant that much to you, you would have hired him to do your wedding.
There's a game that I've played for a long time, and I did it in management, and it was 2 positive things for every negative thing. So, what I like, you give them 2 good solid wins. Yes, we're going to play Sandstorm for your organ recessional. I've got it. It's going to be awesome. I love it. And then we're going to bring glow sticks and they're going to be free. Oh, but by the way, the guy can't DJ. But the good news is that, we're doing all these other wonderful things for you.
Yeah.
Your mic's muted, Jay.
Sorry. I'm going to give an opinion, which I have to, which is simply going to be, you know what? I think it's best if, and I'll start with that angle, and then the hammers will all drop down about, and on top of it, here's the other bigger issue. My liability insurance, I checked with them today, they will not cover anyone else DJing. So at a wedding where there's video and everything else, if anything breaks, I'm up a creek. I've got to actually look up the date. I'm not going to say the date of their wedding. I know it, but I've got to see. I'm hoping it's a Saturday because, it's a Saturday. Plus, I have a wedding the next day. So it's not like I can afford to wake up the next morning and have gear broken. I mean, I've got all my ways out, and I'm thinking that I'm overestimating the whole experience.
You're preparing for the worst, but hoping.
I'd rather go in preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. Yeah. I hate
hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. Yeah.
No. And this came up about 4 or 5 days ago, so it's been in my head about. Okay.
I know it's been on your mind.
I need to. Well, because it's too late in the process. If this was a day one thing, if this was the day they first contacted me, by the way, here's the game plan, it would have immediately been like, yeah, that's not going to work. So I'm probably not the right guy for you.
Well, you have to make a call in about 4 minutes. So we should wrap the show a little early to give you a little time to, take a deep breath and knock this out of the park. That. I got records to go through. I don't know how he's probably got pizza night or something over there. I don't know.
Must have something.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Oh boy, what happened? Did I just switch microphones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
And you got weird. Yeah, what happened? What mic did you switch to?
I switched to the camera mic. I apologize. I don't know why that happened, but it did. And here we are, like we're ending the show, and I'm on the stupid camera mic because my mic. Yeah, it happens. So anyway, we got to end the show, and I'm sorry for my stupid mic at the end of the show. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Stay well, everybody.